Last week, I uploaded this video, What Judges Think About the Pro Se, and it generated a lot of comments. And one comment in particular, I want to continue the conversation on. And the individual in this comment said, I was surprised about the results of the poll and like that there is a pro se handbook. I'd also like to see a handbook for poor people that outlines what kind of representation to expect from a lawyer and how to determine when a lawyer is doing their job. It's a crummy feeling being in unfamiliar territory with someone who seems to be acting more as an officer of the court rather than as an advocate for the defense. The crummy feeling part, now that resonates with me. I get it. And how does a client know that a lawyer is doing their job? Well, I tell you, the answer lies in the attorneys and clients' communication and ultimately their connection. Each attorney client relationship is going to be unique, and each connection is going to be unique. And I want to talk about 6 connections. I ask my client to think about our relationship as a partnership. I say to the client, or let's say the potential client, because before I decide to take the case, I want to be sure that we are connected. And I tell the client, while I would be responsible for providing legal expertise, your role is just as critical, such as knowing your case, because you understanding your case, you're going to help me to understand it. You'll be responsible for providing information and making decisions. The first test in ascertaining whether the client knows his or her facts is to ask them to articulate the facts in a way that I can envision the occurrences leading to their decision to sue. In other words, as the client recites the facts, I should be able to envision what happened in my head. And as the attorney, I need to be able to recite those facts back to the client, not just for accuracy purposes, but in reciting the facts back, it may jog the client's memory and the client comes up with other relevant and pertinent facts. Another reason why the attorney needs to know the facts and understand them is because it helps the attorney draw the causes of action. You see what I mean now when I say partnership? Both sides should be honest. I'm honest with my clients, sometimes brutally honest, but you know what? I invite the client to be honest with me, and the client should feel free to be honest. The attorney should invite the client to ask questions, and the client in return should feel free to ask questions, any question. Now, this is a big one, but the attorney should keep the client abreast of developments in the lawsuit. Now, the ability of the attorney to meet with the client, how often, for example, and where, is going to vary with each relationship, right? For example, the nature of the lawsuit may limit the attorney's availability or necessity to communicate with the client. So, for example, I practice civil litigation, civil rights litigation. And in civil rights litigation, you get a litigation track, and it's usually 4 months. So things are moving fast. So at the front of the lawsuit, I schedule regular consultations, sometimes bi-weekly and weekly. And it depends on what is happening in the case at the time. And as litigation moves along, I schedule consultations as needed. So let me be clear. Meeting regularly has no magic number. You just meet as often as needed. And remember this, a lawyer's responsibility to the client is to act in the client's best interest, protect their rights, and provide competent legal services. And what that looks like to one relationship, attorney client relationship, is going to look differently in another attorney client relationship. To the YouTuber who wrote the question and anyone else who might be interested, you should be able to get a copy of a pro se handbook in the jurisdiction in which your matter is pending. Contact your clerk, the office of the clerk, and inquire about that, okay? And also, I will leave a link in the description page of a video that I did that addressed the pro se handbook, okay? I trust that this has been helpful to you. Listen, be proactive. And until next time, I am Advocate Lucinda. Take care.